This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, July 8th, 2025. President's routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. White House reverses stance on Epstein scandal. The United States makes plans for restarting arms shipments to Ukraine. Trump states no deportation amnesty for illegals, except agricultural workers who can stay under new work program. On the home front, in Texas, disaster recovery continues following the recent floods that have struck the state. Over 109 fatalities have been reported in conjunction with the flooding in Carr County and the Guadalupe River Basin. Local authorities are starting to shift rescue operations into recovery as the last live victim was recovered on Friday. Nevertheless, the search for the missing continues. In North Carolina, following the landfall of a tropical depression over the weekend, severe flooding struck the capital region. Dozens of water rescues were conducted over the past 2 days in Chapel Hill and Durham, and 4 fatalities have been reported so far as a result of the floods. In Washington, D.C., political activities continue as various press statements and news conferences over the past few days have resulted in a shifting of priorities for the White House. Most notably, the White House has changed perspective on the Epstein case. After months of hype surrounding the potential for arrests, the White House and the Department of Justice have stated that no arrests of Epstein's clients will occur, nor will any further documents be released regarding this case. President Trump also verbally berated the journalist inquiring about this change of stance, calling the question a quote-unquote waste of time. Concerning immigration, President Trump also stated that illegal immigrants will not be granted amnesty, however agricultural and service workers will be granted reprieve from deportation under a work program, the details of which have yet to be released. President Trump has also expressed interest in rearming Ukraine, following last week's slowdown of supplying Ukraine with missiles for their Patriot batteries. Yesterday afternoon, the Pentagon confirmed that they will resume weapons shipments to Ukraine. Analyst comments for this wire. Regarding the flooding in Texas, as unfortunate and inflammatory as it is, the potential for malign action must be considered. Concerns are already growing regarding the operations of the Rainmaker Technology Corporation and their weather modification programs that have taken place throughout Texas. Augustus DeRico, the CEO of Rainmaker, admitted to their company conducting operations in south-central Texas on July 2nd, 2 days before the severe flooding occurred. Additionally, many are wondering why cloud seeding operations were conducted if the remnants of a tropical storm were expected throughout the area and no drought was declared. Of course, it will take many years of investigation to determine the links between all of this, but since time is of the essence and hurricane season is well underway, it would be wise to re-examine risk assessments to factor in current events. From a risk management perspective, if hazardous weather is forecasted, it would be wise to plan for that weather system to produce more severe weather than originally forecasted, just out of an abundance of caution, especially if located in areas where weather modification efforts are being undertaken with zero oversight whatsoever. However, at the end of the day, if you are chest deep in water trying to save your family, it won't matter if this is the work of a company to manipulate atmospheric conditions or if it was a freak weather system. At that point, you're in the mud having to make tough decisions. Assess the risk, start taking weather systems more seriously, and have a plan for what to do if the forecast underestimates a situation when it occurs. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, July 8th, 2025.